So one of the questions that I'm getting asked frequently, more and more frequently, is how do I explain this to my kids without sounding panicked? And my response to these individuals is basically the same as it is when somebody comes into my office and they're dealing with a trauma. And that's that the way you come off responding to this situation to your kids is going to be contagious. So if you come off being scared or angry or upset or confused, your kids are going to pick up on this. Now, some of those emotions that you're going to have are very understandable, and you don't really want to hide them from the kids because the kids are going to see it anyway. But you do want to try and explain this with as much rational feelings and thinking that you can. So you would explain to them what is going on. You would talk to them about the things that the family is doing in dealing with this, and you would be as honest as you can with some of the information that you give a child. Nobody knows kids better than the parents, and if you find that your kids are easily worried, or easily anxious, or easily scared, then you might want to edit some of the information that you share with them on this. Kids are very smart, and they're going to pick up on things. You also want to share what's age appropriate with the child. You wouldn't give information to a 3-year-old or a 6-year-old that you would give to a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old. And you want to be aware of this when you're talking to these kids. One of the things that I have talked about with our families is that these children need to know what's going on as far as illness and as far as hygiene and taking care of themselves and being aware of what they're doing if and when they don't feel well and if they are around other people. But we also want to combine the positive with the negative. We want to talk about the fact that this is a time for families to gather, families to spend time together. This is a time for working on projects that maybe you've put off for a long time, and try and incorporate the positive along with fears and anxieties and confusion with the negative. And lastly, I do want to say that a child has the right to have emotions around this. A child has the right to be scared just like you are. What we want to try and do is we want to try and have them talk about it, but not stay focused and not obsess over it. So if you know your child tends to really get carried away with the subject, try and put a time frame on it. Say to your child, you know what, we're going to talk about this for the next 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to move on. You're answering their questions, but you're not letting them dwell on them.